Hello, lovely people. New adventure unlocked. I'm headed to the next game. My mama's here. We're going to Aqua Zumba. I am getting out of my comfort zone. I am trying fencing today. I'm just there for the vibes. I know nothing about baseball. I'm there for the vibes. Hello, lovely people. Listen, Linda, listen. All right, I am reviewing episode 6, Freedom Frenzy. This is the episode where Todd and Julie comes home. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a few emotional moments. I'm gonna do my best to recap this. I don't have a lot of time because the little one is up and running around. So if you hear some background noise, I apologize. Actually, I don't. I make no apologies. If you got kids, you know how it is. It is what it is. I'm not making any apologies. Just tune out the background noise like you do with your own kids when you're on the phone. All right. So I described the whole episode as just chaotic. Okay. We start out with the news press, of them, getting the pardon. The president calls Savannah. They don't show that. I don't know. Maybe it's because of, copyright or whatever. I don't know. But actually, they did show Trump calling Todd when he got out. But anyway, so Savannah gets the word from Trump's right-hand girl, Margot, that the paperwork is being signed for them to get pardoned. So she's rightly so freaking out. And Julie calls Savannah, and Savannah is so excited, and Savannah tells her the news. And I'm glad that Julie found out the news from Savannah and not from like the news outlets or anything like that. And Julie, of course, is like, what about Dad? And they're like, Dad is also getting pardoned. So she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, what do I do? Do I get ready? They're like, yes, you got to get ready. And so they are just trying to just get things together, like who's going to pick up who. They're cleaning the house. It's just chaos because the pardon was signed that they be released immediately. And so can you imagine, your parents have been gone for 2.5 years and then in a few hours they're coming home? Like, it's mass chaos. Now, as Savannah's putting on her makeup and looking in the mirror, Chase goes to hug her. And she's like, stop, I'm getting ready. So that made me feel a kind of way because I'm like, this is a celebratory moment. Like, Savannah, just chill. Like, embrace your brother, right? But they did hug later on, though, I think. Chase feels away because, well, you can tell he feels away because he's like, Savannah told me about the pardon, and then 5 minutes later, it was on the news. Now, this thing spread like wildfire. I think I cannot speak to why Savannah said something to Chase and then 5 minutes later it was all over the news. I would assume that Savannah is making her rounds. She got the news, had to call Dad, or Dad called her, or Mom called her, had to tell Grace and had to tell Chloe, had to tell the parents, right? But if I was Chase, I would feel a certain way. Like, you're just telling me just in the nick of time. Like, I felt Chase on that. Like, I feel away. But listen, the bigger picture is that your parents are coming home. Deal with that BS later, right? Now, Chase was at the house. Now, why Chase left, I don't know. But production says that when Chase left, they began making plans, the transportation plans, without him. It is 2025. Are you trying to tell me that somebody couldn't have picked up the phone and said, hey, Chase, I know you just left, but we're making plans for transportation. Who do you want to go get? I think the same people that dropped him off prison would have been the same people that should have brought him back. And I also say this, Grayson, I love how grown you are and all that stuff, but you're full of BS. For Chase to say, oh, we didn't include the grandparents in the plans because it would have been too much on them. It wasn't too much on them when they went to go drop him off. Didn't Julie's parents, right, go with Julie to drop him off? And why would you, Grayson, make a decision for them? Let them say this is going to be too much on them. They have not seen, their daughter has been away for 2 years. They would have been just fine. Like, that was not your call to make a decision with them. I do think that was really, really jacked up. And Nanny Faye too. Y'all have, it's 2025. You all have cell phones. Y'all could have called Chase and said, hey, I know you just left, but these are the plans we're making. I mean, Tyler seems like a really good friend to Savannah. So, maybe he could have gone too and stayed in the car. And her point is, you don't get to say so because you're not financially contributing. I think that's really messed up. But I also understand where Savannah's coming from. Like, dude, you have not been here for the very beginning. So it's kind of like, don't be coming in at the last end trying to reap the benefits of the work that I've done. But that's also the mentality of a selfish person. It's not about you, Savannah. It's about mom and dad are coming home and all the children should be there to receive them. So I do think that was petty and they did slight Chase. And if I was Chase, I would feel away. I think Nanny Faye, the grandparents, give them the option. Do you want to come with us to go get them or not? Like, give them the option, but you took away the option from them. And that needs to be addressed later. I don't know if they're going to address it in the other episode, but that needs to be addressed later. I really didn't like it. So it looks like they were waiting forever. It looks like the even though the pardon got released, the pardon got signed, they were playing games with them. They were waiting forever. So let me say this. Savannah is one, like, she's got balls on her because she said, you know what? Let me go do an impromptu press conference and let the world know that y'all are playing games with me, even though the president of the United States have signed this pardon. Y'all are playing in my face. I'm going to play with y'all's. So I love that she got out there and did a press conference. Hey, listen, her gusto is what has gotten her parents out of prison. So I don't knock her for it. I understand why Chase left. Like, I don't understand. Like, you should have been there all day, every day to figure it out. I do see that Chase was trying to talk to Savannah about maybe getting a driver or transportation. And I don't know. Savannah was just being real snippety towards Chase. I really didn't like it. So the production asks Mama Pam, Julie's mom, how do you feel about the fact that you were not included in the plan to go get your daughter? She goes, well, I really don't want to talk about that. Oh my God, does this woman ever have an opinion? How do you feel? Like, it's kind of like she frustrates me so much. It's kind of like every single episode I have had an issue with Mama Pam because she just like, speak. Like, how do you feel that you weren't included to pick up your daughter? Let me give you some emotions, Mama Pam. Are you indifferent? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Here's some emotions. Pick one. I was just like, has her husband has an imaginary duct tape over her mouth or something, because like she can't even give an opinion, or she's so scared of looking a certain way she can't even give an opinion. Now, when you ask Nanny Faye is going to tell you, I would have liked to have gone to get my son. That's it. And she has every right to feel that way. Anyway. All right. So yeah, so they were giving Savannah a hard time about releasing them. She called the White House. She called everybody. She had the press conference. She was like, y'all are going to get my parents out. I don't know what is going on, et cetera, et cetera. But here is where I teared up. When they showed that scene of Todd walking out of prison. And he's got a folder like this thick. Now, later on in this podcast, he did say that the folder is from all the stuff, all the tea that he has on what's been going on in the prison system. Y'all know he got that prison shut down, right? Which is like great. And they just hug. And I said, wow, she did it. Say how you feel about Savannah, but she did it. Honestly, this is a real remarkable story. They need to write a book. They need to write a book because it is unreal, you know. And I hope, if y'all don't know who Alice Johnson is, I really like her. She's the pardon Cesar for the president. She's a black grandmother that was incarcerated. I think she got like 30 years in jail for like a minor like drug offense, and all the people, her co-conspirators, had been out. She, fell into some hard times and I think was selling or whatever. And Kim Kardashian saw her story and fought for her to be pardoned by Trump. So I think it's amazing that she is now helping people also be pardoned. Anyway, so Todd gets in the car. Savannah's like, I did it. And it's almost like she wanted her daddy to confirm and be proud of her and say, I didn't. Todd was like, you did it. So Trump calls and, you got to schmooze up to him because he got him out. However you feel about that man, he got him out. And it's just a big emotional moment. And you could tell that they were both in shock. Like you could tell that it hadn't sunken into Todd that he was actually out, So then you have Grayson also waiting for Julie. And I thought it was so sweet. She ran up to that gate and she's just waiting to be let out. Like she's probably like, get me the F out of here. And then they embrace each other. And what was so sweet is that you had Todd and Savannah and Tyler watching on FaceTime to see what was happening. And that was really, really, really cute. Okay, let's pause for a second. I like Julie as a brunette. I don't know what Todd's talking about. Like maybe it's like a Southern thing with the blonde. I actually feel like Julie looks younger as a brunette. I feel like the blonde ages her. And the tabloids tore Julie up. They were like, she looks hideous as a brunette. She looks terrible. She's aged. No, I really like her in that brunette. Like there's a scene where Todd is being interviewed and Julie's like this watching him being interviewed. And I said, she looks so pretty. Like so I'm not gonna say I don't like the blonde on her because I think Julie is a pretty lady. But now that I've seen her as a brunette, I think you should go back to being a brunette, but I know your husband doesn't like that. So anyway, so of course they call Chloe and Chloe's so excited that her parents are coming. And you could just tell she's just giddy. She's like, I've been waiting for you to call me. And she's like, I'm coming home. And seeing how Julie was talking to Chloe all sweet was just so sweet. So Todd was telling basically Chase that like he's coming back with a vengeance. Like when he walked out of there, they were all trying to suck up to him like, I was one of the good ones. And Todd was like, if you think I did damage in here, wait till I step outside. And Chase is cracking up. But I will say this though, that is the white privilege. Because ain't no black man gonna talk to the authorities like that. And I listened to Todd's podcast and some of the stuff that Todd was doing in there. Listen, look. Use your white privilege for good, okay? Because that is an example of white privilege. It's the white privilege and the celebrity status, but Diddy ain't, well, child, let me not even talk about Diddy because that is a violent offender. Bring it back, bad example. No other black man is snapping at those people and getting stuff in line and they would have kept him there forever. Anyway, I digress. So, can I tell you something that pissed me off? When Julie came home and they had all the extras. Grayson, you're upset because Jody is there. Why is Blaze there? It should have been immediate family. Chase, Mom and Pam, Papa Hughes, Nanny Faye, Chloe. Amber, because that's the niece. Do y'all know who's Amber's parents? Like, who's she blood of? Is she blood of Todd or blood of Julie? I don't know. Somebody let me know, please, in the comments. It should have just been immediate family and all the extras, all the friends. Y'all could have came a week later. The first 24 to 48 hours are the most critical hours of a person that's been incarcerated for such as long as they have life. You could tell Julie was overwhelmed. Like, y'all didn't even let her go upstairs and take a shower, like wash her hair, like it. And it kind of looked like there's this scene where Julie's standing behind the counter and they're all staring at her like she's some kind of zoo animal. And I was just like, Savannah, if you told your friends to come over there, that was wrong. They were witnessing a very intimate moment. And if I was Chase, I would feel away. Chase, you should not have brought Jody. So you can't talk about who are all these friends when you're bringing Jody. Yes, Jody is your future fiance, but she could have met Julie another time. And also as a mom, like if you're trying to get to know you, that's not. And then Papa Hugh's gonna ask Jody, "Oh, is she what you pictured?" Like that is not the time for it. I don't know. He's just kind of like, I get Asperger-ish from Papa Hughes. Do y'all know what I mean? Like no filter, just says things at the wrong time. I get Asperger-y stuff from him. Anyway, whatever. Anyway. So Blaze should not have been there. Savannah's friends should not have been there. It was just all these people that are peering into such a vulnerable moment for them. Like it really, 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 really bothered me, you know? So Julie comes in, of course she hugs Chloe, and I love when she said to Chloe, "Are you happy? I'm happy to see you." Like you could tell Chloe did not want to let her go. She's hugging her mom, she's hugging Eddie Faye, you could tell Chase broke down, you know, like he's been waiting for this moment. Also let's back up. When Todd and Julie got on the phone, you could tell they were so emotional. Todd was like, "I can't wait to see her." Like that is, while they were incarcerated, Todd's warden allowed him to talk to Julie, but Julie's warden would not. So they have not had any kind of like phone call or nothing for 2 years, just straight letters, right? And when you're dealing with the mail system in the prisons, you can't really have a productive conversation through mail because number one, it's being read. And number two, like, you don't know if you're going to get everything. And then also it's like, by the time you get the letter, you're so on something totally different. So they have not seen each other. So you could tell Julie felt overwhelmed. And Chase was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, it's been a long day." No, it's been a long life for the last 2 years. And I was with Chloe when Chloe was like, "Okay, see y'all later." I was like, "Yeah, bye. What are y'all doing here?" And then again, I'm calling them extras. If it was me, if I was Savannah's friend and I was there, I'd be like, "This doesn't feel right in my spirit. Maybe I should leave." So none of y'all said to each other, "You know what? Let's let this family have their moment." Y'all want to be on TV that bad? Nobody said to each other, "You know what? I know Savannah said we can come over, but I think that this is a moment that the family just should cherish, and we'll come back another time." Nobody had the common sense or the common decency to give the family their privacy. Yeah, that's an issue for me. Anyway, so here's my gripe with Mama Pam and Papa Hughes is that they left. They left before Todd came in. That was so wrong. That pissed me off. First of all, y'all could have slept upstairs. If she had to work in the morning, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You waited for your daughter to come home, and then before Todd came home, you dipped. No, what you should have done was packed an overnight bag. You should have gone upstairs and took a nap and said, "Y'all wake me up when Todd gets here." I don't care if he came at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You would have been just fine. Hell, girl, you could have called out of work. Okay? You could have called out of work. So for them to leave, and listen, at this point, I don't even know, listen, the woman has no voice. So I don't even know if that was even her call. It might have been Papa Hughes' call. And then she just, "Okay, let's go." I said, wait, I had to pause it. I said, "They're leaving?" Oh, if I was Todd, I would feel some kind of way. And keep in mind, they had not seen Todd in prison because Todd said to them, "I don't want you all to see me in prison." I would have been like, "Oh yeah, I feel away." Y'all can't even wait a few hours. So Todd gets home. Oh, Savannah is, of course, full of adrenaline, so she's sick. Y'all, that's how trauma also shows up in the body. When you've been storing so much emotion full of adrenaline, it shows up in sickness. So when she was sick, I was like, yeah, Savannah has been so focused on getting her parents free. Mark my words, in the next coming months or years, you're going to see the trauma play out. is going to show up unless she is active about her therapy and her treatment. But now that her parents are home, she's like, her goal is accomplished. She better have a plan on how to process what she's gone through. You know, it's kind of like, I'm not going to get all therapy with y'all. I'm trying to keep this video short. Anyway, let me just say, it's kind of like, so I work in the maternal health space, postpartum, perinatal, fertility issues, things like that. It's kind of like a mom that has been having fertility issues, trying to have a baby. Then she gets pregnant. So she's so anxious about losing the baby, anxious about losing the baby. Then she gives birth, and the baby's in NICU, and the baby's in NICU for months, and the baby finally comes home, and things are all good. And then later, I see the mom unraveling. I said, that's now the trauma is showing up, because you've always been focused on putting out fires. Now that things are settled, that's where the trauma is showing up. The trauma is going to show up. But hopefully Savannah has a good therapy. Maybe even if she's on medication, she has a plan to live her life, because she's lost, 2 years of her life, whatever. Anyway, so I love to see Todd and Nanny Faye embrace when she was like, oh, I just love you so much. Like, oh, he loves his mom. I'm like, may my bond with my baby be like that. Anyway, so I love Todd's humor, because Todd sees Julie after embracing, was like, we got to get this stuff fixed. Like, he's like, I never thought I'd be with a dark-haired woman. And he's playing around with her. Like, you could tell they're so emotional. And again, this is why I was like, why are these extras here? Watching them go through this intimate moment. Julie, I like your hair. I don't think it's changing, but whatever. I see you're back to blonde. And then Julie already starts mothering. Chloe, why are you up? Chase, take that dip out of your mouth. That is so disgusting. Chase, what are you doing? Like, don't you have stomach issues? You think the dip is helping? Anyway, Chase tried to throw a little jab at Savannah when she was like, oh, Savannah got all your jewelry on. And she's like, I don't care. And see, that's how I like Julie's response. Like, don't feed into it. You know what I mean? Like, Chase is just trying to, and then Chase is like, well, how many times have I reached out to Savannah? Chase, there's no time for it. The lady just got home a few hours. This is not the time to air out your gripes about Savannah. And vice versa. Y'all can do that in therapy another time. And I love when Todd was like, he's about to blow. I know they probably had the best sex that evening, child, because, Listen, people say Todd is gay. Whether he's gay or not, I do not care. I don't think he is. I think he's just a sassy, white, southern male. But whether you're gay or not, I'm sure they got it in when they came home, okay? And so basically, yeah, Todd is about to spill the tea. Todd is coming back with a vengeance, enemies beware. And he's like, you know what? I will open up the whole book. Like, I'm ready. So I'm ready for episode 7. Y'all, thank you for watching my video. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Pamela, Dr. Pamela. And, I like the show. So, hopefully they come up with a season 2. They got a lot more to tell. We need to look into Savannah and Grayson's relationship. I thought they only had 6 episodes, but it looks like now there's 8, but because they do have to follow up when Todd and Julie came home. So I noticed is 8 instead of 6 episodes. So I will review episode 7 in a little bit. But please follow my Instagram page in Dr. Pam. And watch my other videos, because I've got good stuff on there too. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.